Hello and welcome. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to transform a multi-year data set on a single column into multiple columns using Power Query. As you can see on the screen, there are two tables. The table on the left has expense type and values, all presented in a single column. You'll also notice two missing labels under each expense type, which implies a corresponding value in the missing field belongs to the same group as the nearest upper category, which also means each expense type has three values, such that the first value is for year 1, the second value belongs to year 2, and the third value belongs to year 3. What I need then to achieve is to transform this data set into a tabular format on the right, with years spread over the columns and expense categories in rows. The entire transformation will involve 5 key steps. Step 1 will be to convert a table into a list. Step 2 will be to group items by expense category. Step 3 will be to regroup the list or the output from step 2 by year. Step 4 will be to separate expense categories from the values in year 1. And step 5 will be to change column types. Now let's see how this is done. To start, I'll need to load this table into Power Query, and to do that, I'll select any cell inside the table. From the data option in the menu bar, I'll go to data, get data from other sources, then from table/range. Once I select that, then the table will be loaded into Power Query, and the next step, I'll remove change type, which has been automatically added by Power Query, and expand the formula bar for easy and clear visibility of what I'm doing. So the next step that I'm going to do is to transform this table into a list, and to do that, I'll use a shortcut. At the end of the query, I'll add square brackets and specify the column that I need to transform. In this case, I only have one column, which is sample data, and it's the one that I'm going to write inside the square bracket. So by writing sample data, hitting check mark, then you can see the table has been converted into a list. So the next step is to group the items in this list by category. And to do that, I'll use list.split function. It allows me to get sublists and also to specify number of elements that belong to each sublist. In this case, the number of elements that I'm going to specify is 3, and that is because each expense category has 3 values and therefore repeats itself thrice. So let's see how this is done. At the start of the query, I'll write list.split. Once I do that, I'll open the bracket. So the first requirement is list as a list, which is already something that I have. Then after that, I'll put a comma, page size as a number, that will be 3. So these are number of elements. Once I do that, I'll hit the tick mark, and therefore you can see now I have a list of sublists. So looking at the first sublist, you can see we have 3 items, whereby the item 1 belongs to year 1, the second item year 2, and the third item year 3. So this applies to all sublists, and these items are grouped based on expense category. So the next thing that I'm going to do is to regroup this list that I'm having by year. And to do that, I'll use list.zip function. Let's see how this is done. So at the start of the query, I'll start by writing list.zip, open the bracket. Then at the end of the query, I'll close the bracket and hit the tick mark. Once I do that, you can see that I have 3 sublists. And expanding to the sublists, you can see now the first one has all the values belonging to year 1. The second list has values belonging to year 2, and also the third list has contain values belonging to year 3. Since I have now my list in by year, next step will be to convert this list into a table. And the function that I'm going to use is table.fromColumns. So at the start of the query, start by typing table.fromColumns, open the bracket. For now, I'll close the bracket. Once I do that, I'll hit the tick mark. And therefore, you can see now we have a table. The good thing about table.fromColumn, it also has an option for us to specify or to customize the column headers. This transformation now means I'll need to rename the column 1 to be year 1, column 2 to be year 2, and column 3 to be year 3. And to do that, for the last bracket, I'll put a comma, then add curly bracket, then double quotes. So I'll use the abbreviation year 1, then I'll also specify for year 2, and also I'll specify for year 3. Once I do that, I'll hit the check mark, and therefore you can see now we have renamed the columns. The other thing that I'm going to do, as you can notice, the description or the expense categories and values for year 1 are all in one column, and this calls for a split. So what I'm going to do, I'll select the column year 1, and from the transform option there is split the column, and this is the one that I'm going to use. So I'll use by delimiter, and if you look closely, you can see that before value there is a space, and that's something that I'm going to utilize. So in this option, the delimiter that I'm going to use is space, and it should be rightmost delimiter at the split. Once I do that, I'll hit OK. You can see the description or expense type for year 1 have been separated from the values. And also the changed type has been added by Power Query. For now, I also don't want it. I'll remove it. And next step will be now to rename. So as you can see, year 1.1, this has to be expense category. With that, I'll go to edit my syntax for year 1.1 to be expense category, and year 1.2, I need it to be just year 1 without a .2. Once I do that, I'll hit the tick mark, and therefore now you can see I have proper header. I'll also remove change type for now because I don't need it. The other step that I'm going to do to change column types. So what I'm going to do, I'll select the entire table and choose detect data type. Once I do that, the data type will automatically be detected. Then after that, I'm going to home option, the menu bar, close and load to. From here, choose it as a table, existing worksheet, and specify the region where I want to locate my table, which is D2. Then I'll hit OK, and there we go. We have our table with expense categories and years in the columns. So the other thing that I'm going to do, just to highlight the values, the home option, I'll put a comma and also decrease the decimals to 0. And this is the transformation that I wanted. If you like this video, please do not forget to like, leave a comment, and subscribe to my channel for more videos. Thank you very much for now. Until next time. Bye.